He said, well, we want you to be Dr. Destruction. And I said, that's stupid.
No. Is he really the son of Vampira? Does he drink blood or go outside in the daylight? Is that his real face? Can he write us a prescription? All these questions and more will be answered when we sit down with Kenosha's own master of monstrosity, Dr. Destruction. Cue that music. Kenosha, that great big busy town. Right in the middle of the USA, between the New York Harbor and the San Francisco Bay. Well, the wonderful East, the beautiful West, that's the right place to be proud. Sing it so loud and big because we're so proud of it, Kenosha, my hometown. Give me a beer. No! Oh.
Well, hello there, listener, and welcome to another episode of the Ktown Connects podcast, the greatest podcast in Kenosha, from what Donny says.
Yep, it's the #1 podcast in the 53142 area code.
Are we in 53142?
Zip code, yes.
I think we're close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're close.
the boundaries are close by around
So
here.
we're #1. Hey, Jason, it's a pleasure to see you once again.
Yeah, how are you today there, Donny?
I'm doing well. I'm kind of spooked about this episode, but let's see if I pee my pants. I'm being so scared.
And we'd like to thank Luigi's Pizza Kitchen. That's where we're recording at today. They're located at 7531 39th Avenue. They're open Tuesdays through Sundays. Give them a call at 262-694-6565. Their full menu is available at luigispizzakenosha.com.
Order those pizza pies.
That's right. Make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Order those pizza pies.
Oh, yeah.
Football season starting.
Yeah.
People want those pizzas.
Yeah. And make sure you follow us on all those social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Drop us a review on Facebook or on your favorite podcast player and help us spread the word about the hottest podcast in Kenosha.
The Ktown Connects podcast.
Also want to give a little shout out and a thank you to Dropping Daisies for that killer theme song. Thank you, Dropping Daisies.
#1 on the Donny Stancato charts.
Yep, still #1.
#1 in our charts and #1 in our hearts.
Ain't that the truth, Jason?
We'd also like to give a shout out to our newest Patreon supporter, Dave Chapman.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for joining the after party at patreon.com/KtownConnects. Dave and all of our Patreon supporters get early access to each episode, bonus material, and more.
And more for only $2 a month.
It
as
starts
low
at
as.
$2 a month. You can give more.
Yeah.
You can give $100 a month if you want.
Wouldn't that be great?
You can give $1 million a month.
Wow.
Woo.
Whew. Yeah.
Find a quick link to that Patreon at ktownconnects.com.
Yeah, do it. Do it now. We got a lot of nice bonus material on there.
Yeah, so who are we talking to today, Donny?
We are with Dr. Destruction. How are you? Thanks for joining
good.
us.
I'm very good. I'm glad to be here.
You have a lot of stuff going on, Dr. Destruction, and we're going to try to cover it all. But before that, let's kind of get to know you first.
Okay.
All right.
So, Dale, what was the first movie you remember seeing in a theater?
Oh, geez. Probably Batman. Adam West.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They used to have, I think it was Frank Carmichael used to have the Halloween parade. Actually would start at St. Mary's over here and go down to Roosevelt School. Of course, every kid that participated, they got a ticket to see Batman at the Roosevelt Theater. And, of course, great marketing. I don't know. That would probably be the first one that I can actually recollect.
Okay.
Great movie.
Yeah. What neighborhood did you grow up in?
This neighborhood right here.
Oh, right over here
right
by
down
Luigi's.
the road. Yeah, a couple about 4 blocks away, Roosevelt School area.
So you spent a lot of time at Roosevelt Theater growing up?
All the time. Oh, when I was a kid, that was the place to be. That was the center point of entertainment for a kid, and it was just right there in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
it was
just
the
walk right
coolest
down
thing in
to
the
it,
world.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was the coolest thing in the world.
It was a fun place. Up in that balcony up there?
Can't say I've never
They
been
closed it most of the time later on, but I remember hiding in the back of the balcony. There was a movie that scared me so much. I saw the coming attractions, and my idea was I would sit in the very last seat in the balcony. I'd be safe.
You'd be safe there? Yeah.
I don't know, pretty scary.
What movie was that? Do you remember?
It's called Equinox. It's a really cool Lovecraftian kind of story, but there's There's a sheriff that does some really creepy things with his mouth, and that was just too much.
Just freaked you out a little bit?
It did then. If you want to watch it, you'll freak out yourself. You have to look that one up.
So how did your whole love start with the darker side of life?
I don't know if you could call it the darker side of life, but I suppose when I was a kid we had the Munsters on television, and we had Addams Family, we had Lost in Space, had lots of monsters, or Star Trek. I seem to remember Lost in Space earlier enough, but a lot of WGN programming, they had the Lost World, stuff that was on Garfield Goose, or there was a show called Stingray that had a lot of fantastic sets and designs and miniatures and things like that. That was before I had seen any horror movies or anything.
Okay.
Before I'd seen the creature features yet.
Yeah.
But all that stuff was out there in the early 60s, and that was like the 60s is like the Monster Kid era, I suppose.
That's when they started airing all the old stuff on TV, right?
A lot of the shock packages had already started by 1958. You were talking about Vampira. She's one of the first. And they got the packages of the Universal horror movies. Okay. And I guess they thought that they were too frightening for people, so they put a goofy host on to take the edge off. But what I've got turned on to, like all of a sudden out of nowhere, was from a babysitter that turned me on to creature features, Svengoolie, and then later I found out about Dr. Cadaverino. They were all on at the same time. And not that the babysitter was she wasn't into this. She's just trying to keep me happy.
Was there a different Svengoolie back when you were a kid?
Yeah, not the one that's now. Yeah, the original Svengoolie, Jerry G. Bishop, was the bomb. He was edgy, yeah.
Oh, cool.
He was more of a hippie character. And he had crazy guests. His sets were just horrible. The movies, I can't remember. I don't know whether they were just all so bad that I didn't remember, or he's on the same time as Creature Features. Creature Features is showing Universal horror films. Mm-hmm. So Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is going to appeal to a kid that's 9 or 10 a lot more than something with Barbara Steele that Mario Bava did. He might have been showing those things.
So what were you like in high school?
High school was weird for me because I had come from a really crazy, not a very good junior high. And they thought, well, we'll send them to Ruther.
Oh.
The old Ruther, where Bradford is now, which was there's no structure there. That was it was kind of cool. It was cool and not cool. I mean, not cool and not having any structure wasn't cool, but there was some cool people there. Mm. And it's when I met the Lipkes in a cartooning class, Dean and Don Lipke.
Okay.
And
what kind of student were you?
Show up for some things and not for others.
Get your work done, get it taken.
So at your time, Ruther was in the building on 39th Avenue where Bradford is now.
Yeah.
It was a lot smaller then, though, right?
The Bradford was a lot smaller. I mean, they added on a lot when they made it Bradford.
Yeah.
But some parts of it, if I go in there, it's still my old high school.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a office because we had a comic book magazine, me and the Lipke brothers.
Ooh, tell us about this.
I don't know. What's the rating on this show?
It's a free-for-all.
Well, that was pretty rowdy. Let's just leave it at that. I can't. And it was funny because it was right in the typing class was this room where was our office, and you had all the stuff going on in the office, mainly because of the Lipke brothers. And then you had the real straightforward typing class. Very interesting times.
So did you have any nicknames back then in high school?
Dr. W.
Dr.
Would be the
W.
way I signed, because we had a cartooning class. That's where I met Dean and Don, in a cartooning class. And Robert Anderson was the cartooning teacher. He was a librarian. And so that's, we were all... Then we're all going over to each other's house and drawing and, making up superheroes. And then I'd make one. Well, then the next one, they'd make the muscles would be bigger. You always had to top the other guy. And Bob Anderson was real cool, though, for the old Ruther. He was actually the librarian. He was a little more straight than some of the professors.
Is that where you kind of got into more doing artwork?
I always was drawing. Okay. I always started drawing right from the monster movies. I started drawing, it was like stick figures of, the monsters and the castles. However, I wish I would have kept some of those. But the breakthrough was there was a Frankenstein picture, a poster in my room, and his head is just sort of turned a little bit. So you can kind of see that shape of the forehead and the bump over his, And I was like, if I draw that line like it looks, and that was like a door
kinda
opening.
clicked for you, right?
And then I just, kept going on and, thinking I was so great and everything. And then in Washington, I run into this guy named John Stadema. He could have worked for Marvel in ninth grade.
Yeah.
And I was devastated and blown away at the same time.
Yep.
But you know what? That's a good thing because that forces you to, not
Step
get out of your
game.
comfort zone and go.
Yeah, I've noticed many years ago, I remember you were doing the paintings on the wall at Doll's Tavern.
Yeah.
And that is some great work. That is so awesome up there. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of not so fun to be on a ladder and do those. You got your little palette up there. And you're like,
Yeah, so if anybody go to Doll's Tavern and check out when they're open. I don't know what their
If
schedule
they're
is.
ever open again, huh?
But that's some great work. I used to live above there, so I saw you
I
come
think
in.
maybe Mike should sell me that place.
Yeah, now you're talking. But yeah, that's some great stuff. You did some great work there. If somebody's interested in getting some of your artwork, can they just get a hold of you?
Yeah, just get a hold of me. I sell a lot of paintings, and when I can get there and paint, and then sometimes I do stuff that I don't want to sell, or the Dorian Gray art show thing.
So tell us about your first job.
Ooh.
My first job wasn't far away from here. It was at Bill of Fare. I was a dishwasher. My cousin and I
At where?
applied. Bill of Fare restaurant. It was on Town and Country up there by the old Ace Hardware and
Okay.
Wilson's Variety. It's right on. If you go to that, I don't know what they're calling it now, 45th and Highway 50. That's
The plaza
strip mall.
there, yeah.
Yeah, there's one building that you'll see. It's a brick. It's on the northwest corner there, and that was Bill of Fare restaurant.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And when I was a kid growing up, we'd go to that shopping center with the grandparents and parents, and what I don't know. My cousin and I decided we were going to get a job there, and he stayed there longer. Ended up being a cook, and then I started working at Great America as Bugs Bunny and Foghorn.
Ooh, tell us about that.
It's hot.
Yeah. A lot of kids.
That was cool. I just didn't, I'd worked in the warehouse there before that. And then someone, thought, oh, you're going to love this. This is for you. And it was cool, but like I said, it wasn't hot. But the problem was whatever, they had some goofy, if you went out in costume for 25, 30 minutes, you had to sit in the break room for 45 in the air conditioning and cool down.
Oh, wow.
And it was cold. And the 45 minutes of sitting there with nothing to do, I mean, it wasn't like we could pick up our cell phone and
Right,
go
yeah.
on Facebook, in 1979.
Just sit there bored out of your mind.
Right.
Flip through the same magazine again.
And then I ended up on the garbage truck
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
right after that.
All right, one more thing for our break. Tell us about the Pink Godzillas.
Well, that was the first punk band, Bakula, Mooney, my cousin on bass, Mark Beam, and then later Larry Torres. And it started out, it was the Maggots. There's a band called the Worms with David Von Serber, who's in Trip or something now.
Okay.
I mean, he totally just did he was awesome, man. It was DVS and the Snakes, and he was DVS. So there was the Snakes, then Dean Lipke had the Worms, and so we thought we'd top that. We're the Maggots.
When did you first decide that you were like, oh, I have some musical talent?
I didn't have any musical talent. It's a perfect time for punk rock.
Not perfect.
So anyway, what happened though is that to get gigs, we changed our names to the Pink Godzillas, and then we could get gigs. Most of the time, the club wasn't happy in the end, though. There was a couple things that happened. The cops came to Dan's Rock Palace after us, and then.
Well, with that, I think we'll take our first break, and we'll be right back with more with Dr. Destruction.
All right, and we're back with Dr. Destruction.
We are.
Wow.
I'm here.
Hey.
So Dale, let's really get to know what you're up to nowadays.
Well, let's get them a little more up into the present day.
There we go.
So you're a young man, your 20s, you kind of got your art thing, kind of got your music thing, you're doing what you're doing. How'd you get involved with Jerry Smith? Because that happened in the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
How did that all evolve and become a thing? And did you?
I'll never forget it. I was just looking for art mural jobs, random stuff,
Now, did you already have the Dr. Destruction kind of persona then?
Well, that was already, it was Dale Destruction. We're going to wind up back to the early punk band stuff when I was real young. And I got the name Dale Destruction because everything around me ended up, I mean 18 to 21 was, just, rough's the word, just stupid.
Well, everybody is.
Just, so that's how that got there. Then it just stuck with me. And then later on, I think it was 21. And I had a really, Amy, I'll give a shout out to her, who was best girlfriend, probably one of the best girlfriends I was ever with. And she had a lot of things in her life that harder times than I ever did. And she just probably saved me, and we did a lot of cool stuff. She was the first bass player for Die Monster Die.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of our, now I look back and I look at how the Cramps were a couple, the singer and the guitar bass player. And I think about how I never really realized that we were kind of like that. And that's when the whole Die Monster Die thing started coming along. And what else happened was the nostalgia for the horror movies came back, because from that 16 to 20, I didn't care about any of that. I was out doing stuff. I wasn't home watching Svengoolie when he went off the air or any of that. And so, that came back, and Roosevelt Theater, the vibe, that old vibe of that. So, I got the nostalgia back for all those movies and everything. And, Rocky Horror was always a big part of that, even when I was real young, because I saw that at the Roosevelt Theater. So I always think of the Roosevelt Theater. I mean, it had the red curtain was the same. Everybody would come to the Roosevelt Theater, and everybody looked more like the unconventional conventionalists. They didn't really dress like Tim Curry per se. There's a lot of people in drag. And they didn't have all those gags figured out that kind of take away from it. If you never saw Rocky Horror, you probably should see it in the theater first. Watch it by yourself though too, because there's a lot that's missed, because that movie wasn't necessarily intended for the way it's viewed now, which is really weird.
All the gags and all that. And
well, that was on Broadway as a musical in the height of the glam rock thing. By the time it came out to be a film, that whole glam thing ended quick. And that was over. And not only that, Young Frankenstein came out maybe 6 months before Rocky Horror, both by Fox. And I think maybe Fox felt a little guilty, because I'm sure Gene Wilder saw Rocky Horror and got the idea for Young Frankenstein, even though Young Frankenstein came out as a movie first. So, but just the right partner, good girl, and just get positive, got me back into school, because I never graduated from Luther, of course. And then, went to Parkside for a while and did that whole thing. And
what were you looking at Parkside? What kind of classes?
I was just an art major.
Just art,
I had all the best professors, so I think I'm doing a lot better than most.
So then, Jerry Smith's, let's say, then how did you end up just going there with your haunted bus at first?
No, they had a bus. I didn't have no haunted bus. I didn't have I did haunted houses when they let us do it in the Durkee Mansion. Imagine that. And there was the 1, 2, 3 gallery. I had a studio space in the 80s. That was they call it the Kemper Annex. They tore it down now. I just walked in and said I'm looking for an art job, and I met Rosemary Smith, and she said, well, they wanted to do something with this bus, and I said, well, I could paint these monsters in there, and then I ended up going on another time, and I met Jerry, and he's like, oh, do you want to run it? And they were just they were fun. They were fun people, and that's how that started, and. It was a very magic time. Very, very, very magic.
So the first year you did it was in 1992. Tell us about that first year.
Well, it was just the bus. They had a bus, and I was a character. My wife at the time ran the booth, and I was the ghoulie in there, and we just showed up and did it every day. And it was the people, they got scared, so they liked it. And then the next year, I was like, well, I can do all this with it.
All right, tweak everything.
And then I bought a bus. So I'm like, I'll make one that we can travel in,
Cool. Now we might as well can throw in a plug right now because you have the Haunted Maze now it's growing to be.
Well, the Haunted Manor, I call it.
Okay.
It's changed names. But yeah, it's a maze. It's a manor. The buses are out there. There's 3 buses. From the original one that I started with, though, that one is actually haunted.
Oh, is it?
People see everything from an old farmer or hear voices. I hear stuff coming out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been renovating that one too for this year.
Oh, really?
Well, you know, you gotta fix them up.
All right, so that's the Haunted Manor at Jerry Smith's Pumpkin
Yep.
Farm, 71150 18th Street.
7150
There we go.
18th Street.
Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Go out there, say hi to Dr. Destruction. He'll
Say
scare you.
hi.
He'll scare you.
Well, I don't do much of the scaring anymore. I'm just in front. Yeah.
About how many people? What's your staff look like inside? About how many people do you have?
Well, they're like a psychologically deformed clowns.
I mean, how many people do you have?
Well, it depends.
depends
if
on
they
the day of the
show
week
up or
and
not.
yeah. Okay.
But there's
All right.
usually quite a crew in there, and they've been with me for a long time. That's what's really amazing too. So
I had a great time. I think it was last year before I went through it, and it was me and my girlfriend were going through, but there was like these 2 teenage girls that somehow came glued to us, and they were just like jumping at everything. And they kind of made it more fun, you know. And it was a good time, and it's definitely worth. It costs a little extra to go through that, right? What is it?
it's $10 for the haunted house.
Okay, all right,
Can't beat
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's worth it.
All
People
right.
were happy last year.
yeah.
So what kind of work do you put in when you're getting ready to start it up? Like what goes into the prep time?
Well, just building, fixing stuff, the wear and tear, or it's year round because you're looking for props and things like that.
New ideas pop in.
Well, the main thing that I think is people when they go to a haunted house, in their mind they're thinking strobe lights and fog machines and I really don't want any of that. I want to give it more of a maybe we shouldn't have came in here. Maybe we
like
made
that.
a mistake.
I like that.
Sometimes I think when they really think that by the time they get to the end of it. But, keep it creepy. If you think about a haunted house, there's a lot of antiquity that you associate with haunted house, and that's all it really is.
Yeah.
Victorian houses and suits of armor and grandfather's clocks. And, especially even now more than ever, where that kind of stuff is really fallen by the wayside. I mean, you're going to have something like a grandfather's clock. Why would somebody do that? They got a clock on their phone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wears watches anymore.
All right.
So, all these old cupboards and things like that.
So then what kind of makes yours different than any other haunted
I
house
think it
in the
is all
area?
those things. I look
Okay.
for stuff that's old wood or parts of furniture or doors. People think stuff people actually kind of left their imprint on. Sometimes you get sometimes Joe Smith, that's who he owns that now. He's, Jerry's still out there, but it's Joe and Amy. And, Joe surprised me here. Oh, here's a whole hay wagon full of where did this stuff come from? Did it come out of a barn? But there's key locks and stuff like it was a house.
Oh, okay.
And, he'll surprise me with a whole bunch of wood, random stuff.
Yeah,
and
all
then
this
it's like
creepy
your
stuff. Give it to Dale.
Well, I think that some people believe that wood has a spirit, that a tree has, and I kind of enjoy that thought when I put it in together. That it does. I mean, maybe I'm the only one picking up on it, but I heard a lot of people have come out and said, it's just not right. It's different. It's weird. I don't know what the other ones do. I don't have a chance to go check out the other haunted houses.
That's true.
They're open on the weekend. I'm there at the farm 10 hours on Sunday at 9:00. The sounds of screams and kids in clown masks. I'm gonna pass, I think.
Right. So you got all this stuff there. Do you have a favorite prop that you have in your haunted manor?
I don't know.
Something that you love.
I've got a very cool Bela Lugosi replica.
Oh, cool.
Some said maybe it was sculpted off his death mask. I don't know. I think it's a Don Post. It's an old, but it's nothing you could find in a store around here. That's something I definitely is a favorite, or just pump organs and old, not the stuff you would think. People see me now, or I'm at a store. Oh, you're doing your Halloween shopping. I'm like, well, actually, there's nothing here that I really want.
Yeah.
No, you'll see me in May at Menards in the hardware section.
Yeah.
I'm doing my Halloween shopping. Okay,
Yeah.
they don't get it. I'm looking for my stuff for other places.
I mean, you are a celebrity in Kenosha now.
I
You've
don't know
been
what
for a
that
long
really
time.
means. But do I get the best table at Luigi's?
Yes. Well, you have it right now.
I guess I do.
It got you a spot on this podcast.
But yeah, that's funny how all that worked out. I couldn't have seen that coming. I wish I would have if I could have known when I was 15, even though I was already getting newspaper articles when I was 15, but I just didn't see all this coming. So.
All right, so you also have a radio show on WLIP, Area 1051, that airs Saturdays at noon Central Time.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us about this? Because you've been on WLIP for quite a while on and
It
off,
has
correct?
been. I don't know how I got into that either. That's been over 10 years.
Wow.
Well, I used to be a co-host on Dobie Maxwell's Mothership Connection.
Yes, that was a good show.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
Dobie Maxwell's awesome. But then I started getting ideas. I wanted to have a show where I talked about films and things like that more, which I'd rather do.
Yeah.
But that all overlapped into one thing into another. And then Dobie wasn't doing the show, and then I started doing overnight.
Yeah, you were doing like 4 or 5
Midnight
hours.
to 4 in the
Yeah,
morning, 5 nights a week.
Whenever I would hear that commercial, I'd be like, how is he doing that?
There's what I don't understand is why there's so many people awake. But there's a huge fan base. They're missing that. And so I did that as the Big Top radio broadcast after midnight. And then JP lured me back in with trying to do the Area 1051. We did that overnight for a while until COVID came along and shut everything down. But that's still, I did the movie thing. We did the UFO thing, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There's some, it's, if you want to get into that cryptid UFO stuff, get somebody that really can, sell it good and tell a good story. There's some people out there that are, not that they're wrong. I wouldn't say they're right or wrong. But one thing that was funny is in the height of the Area 1051 that was on 5 nights a week, that was when we were getting a ton of Mothman sightings out of Chicago at O'Hare Airport. So that was good timing.
Yeah.
So
you had like numerous like authors, all kinds of like you had some
I
big
couldn't
time
even remember. I keep finding books and stuff that they gave me. Yeah. And that I was looking. My point of view is I try to explain it to people. If you want to come on my show and say you wrote a novel about a vampire, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
If you're going to call me and say you are a vampire, and then not so much.
So with the farm going this month, you're probably not doing original shows. Are you doing reruns?
I don't know. We're talking about what we're going to do. I might be select reruns or do some lives from the
that'd be fun.
live from the farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But then November you're coming back full strength.
November we'll figure it out. Maybe the overnight again. I know they got Nori or Coast to Coast right now.
Okay.
My fans say they want me back though. So
Do you like that noon?
Huh?
Do you like the noon hour on Saturdays?
it's been fun.
Yeah?
It's fun, but
I mean, I seem to catch you a lot more on Saturdays. At noon
okay.
than
Yeah, a
before,
lot of people do. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I've been up between midnight and 4. It's been a long time.
That was an interesting stretch.
And then you also you're not done. You also have the Crimson Theater.
Yes.
Yeah, that's is approaching 20-year mark.
Wow.
Wow.
And Kenosha.
So for the movies you do on Crimson Theater, do they have to be royalty free, or is there something
Public domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's everybody that's doing that shtick right now. It's public domain, but you can't show Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, but if you show The Terror with Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson, that's public domain.
Oh.
But that opens the door. Then you can talk about Boris Karloff's career, and
okay.
you can talk about the Frankenstein.
Oh, there we go.
So,
There's the loophole, right?
Well, you're not really showing those films. I'm not really sure if the original Universal films belong on a horror host show or not. At least not in the rubber chicken throwing frenzy that's summer.
And then you're also on Spectrum. You're back on
Spectrum on
Channel
Channel 14 for the Kenosha audience, and that's a great thing too that came back. And like I said, it's going to be 20 years.
Wow.
And I would have never saw that coming either. I
Right.
didn't. I might have. Well, I know I wanted to do it in '92. And it wouldn't have been Dr. Destruction. It was going to be a totally different character. And there was a lady that was running the access station seemed to sabotage me. She's like a religious type.
Oh.
Boy, we
So
love those.
that always is a joke that somebody judge me on a religious level for any of this stuff because there's no praying to Satan in the darkness here. I'm sorry, kids. I hate to blow it for you, you know. But anyway, then Dave Spring, who was working at the station at the time, he approached me and we were getting these ideas. And he said, well, we want you to be Dr. Destruction. And I said, that's stupid.
No.
But he thought because everybody knew me from the haunted houses and the Destruction name that and he was right, I guess, you know, because it just worked out. It went boom right away. That was the thing. I want to be the Unruly Ghoulie. I had this idea for like green skin, a green wig, flannel shirt, beard. And then I didn't have a castle. I had just this old shack. And there was a shack out in Summers I thought would be perfect, you know. And I'd be sitting on a lawn chair going, with one of them bottles with 3 X's on it, those big jugs, you know.
For sure.
But we didn't. Maybe the Unruly Ghoulie will show up on an episode sometime.
Oh, I like that. Well,
that would have cut back on budget costs, too, you know, if you're out in a shack.
Would have been more makeup than what I'm wearing now.
Well,
people can also find it on KenoshaCommunityMedia.org. And if you don't have that Spectrum Channel 14, you can download the Kenosha Community Media app on the Roku.
Or Kenosha Community Media Roku.
Yes, yeah, the Roku box. You just download it right there. Hey, we're also on Channel 14 and Kenosha Community Media as well.
Good. That's good.
We saw you. We said, we got to do it too.
Why not?
You know?
And we need more people involved. Yep. That station needs people doing shows. There's no doubt about it.
They need
and it's
content.
got quite a history, even way before my time.
So where do you record your show at now?
A lot of times it can either be in my basement where the remnants of the original set still are, or it's been the Pumpkin Farm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, then Haunted Manor.
Oh. Because you used to do it at when it was Time Warner,
when we had a studio.
Right.
No, we can still. We've done some at the library over there where the new studio is, but use a green screen, which is
not as fun, right?
Counterproductive to anyone that wants to do set design. But face it, that's a dying art.
Yeah.
Yep. Dale, let's talk about the Roosevelt dolls here.
There is no Roosevelt dolls now.
Done?
Our drummer died. Christy Haven passed away. Before that, the COVID split everything up.
Oh, okay.
Some members didn't want to practice. And we had brought in a new bass player, and that was shaky. And then the COVID thing happened.
And that was it. That was it.
So what was the difference between Die Monster Die and Roosevelt Dolls? As you had band members switch up in both.
Yeah, it's it's all going to be sort of there's a similarity, I suppose. Yeah. The big thing about the Roosevelt Dolls was Sherry Stouffer on piano and keyboard, so that brought out a whole different element. We're still doing stuff, and we do the Heart's Blood acoustic thing, and maybe some form of Die Monster Die. I'm sure just got to find the right people.
All right.
There you go.
But the Roosevelt Dolls had a good long stretch. I mean, we did it 4 or 5 years, and we recorded that CD. And it's a shame about Chris. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I knew him from the boathouse. He was a good guy.
Oh, I know him for a long time. I used to live across the street from the boathouse.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, Dale, I want to talk to you about this. You do so much for Kenosha. Your face is everywhere. People know you.
I'm sorry.
I want to know about when you decided to run for mayor.
Was it 2004?
Well, that was when we first started the TV show.
Okay.
The running joke was that I was going to run for mayor, and we had all these ridiculous campaign slogans. And then 2004 came along, and it was, I'm like, okay, well, all right, let's say we're running for mayor. I'm going to get the signatures, and then I'm going to, go to the municipal building with my signatures in full costume and submit my nomination papers, at which point I'm thinking they're going to throw their arms up in the air. No, I got on the ballot.
Oh.
So then we had a few campaign parties, and then another guy jumped in there, Schuler. So when Schuler, Anaramian, and myself, nobody in their right mind would run against John Anaramian.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I insulted some people that did, perhaps. Anyway, I did. Anyway, but there was a primary, and I was not as well known back then. If you can imagine, 2004 compared to now.
Right.
If I did it now, might get a little more of a raise of an eyebrow.
Well, there's going to be an opening.
Huh?
There's going to be an opening.
So they say. We'll see.
The good old boys never go away, right?
I don't know if that is a good old boy.
But yeah, so what was that like? You know, I'm running for mayor. Everybody, hey, you're running for
Well,
mayor.
give up on going to the grocery store in 10 minutes
Right.
and getting out because you run into somebody that wants to know what you're going to do and you got to talk to them.
Yep.
You know?
Ugh.
But it was more of a promotional idea for, you know, yourself and your image and your show and
Well,
everything. Because you
it was
knew
just-
you weren't going to win. You know.
It was an interesting thing to do, and I met a lot of people, and I met all the aldermen on first basis, and then I started getting involved to their parties and stuff, and then I knew all of them now. Where I love, you know, the mayor. I don't kid around with a lot. I think he's a pretty straightforward business guys, but I love making fun with the aldermen, you know, especially the ones I know, like Alderman Kennedy.
He was on the show and he was a hoot.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't care.
Well, that's good. He's having a good time on
Yeah.
his way out.
Whoa! All right. So who got more votes when they ran for mayor, you or Scott Barter?
I'm not really sure on that. I think that I got more, though. I'm not surprised. That's a whole nother. Imagine him for a mayor. Huh?
Oh,
So stop on out to Jerry Smith's Pumpkin Farm. That's Monday through Fridays from 4 to 8 and Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 8. And see Dr. Destruction's Haunted Manor. Is that what it's called this year?
Yeah, so Haunted Manor.
All right.
yeah, we'll be out there later. Crystal and I will be out there. We always have a good time when we see you
Yeah,
out there.
come
so
on
that'll be
out. I
fun.
mean, I wish a lot more people that I knew would come out. I think maybe, you know, I mean, Jerry Smith obviously is the kid-friendly pumpkin farm fun. I mean, but I think maybe people think that the haunted house is not a haunted house, and that's what I tell them when they come out there. You know, it's great when a mom comes up with her, 10-year-olds and says, "Well, you know, is this going to scare the hell out of them?" And I hope so. I mean, it's a haunted house.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to get that misinterpretation that somehow by having a good haunted house, that means it's not family friendly or
Yeah.
well, there's nothing. I make sure that there's nothing that's going to happen in there that's not is inappropriate, obviously, but it's spooky, it's scary. They're going to
It's
come
a
out.
haunted house.
They're going to come out the other end and,
Right.
and be okay and then live through it, and it's a good time, and they should be they should know they're okay in there. But
Now, is Jerry Smith's charging admission this year? Just to
for
get into
for the back,
to get into the farm itself.
they had to.
They're doing that again? Okay.
Well, they have had. It's been consistent since 2017.
Okay.
And it's just gotten bigger, and I'll tell you what, have you ever gone out to Jerry Smith's? You can go out there when it's a busy weekend, or you can go out there in the summertime. Those grounds, did you see how well they're kept up? There's not a piece of garbage anywhere.
Yeah.
You know how much labor it takes to keep that place in that kind of shape?
Yeah, they do
Not
good
to
work
mention the porta potties and everything else, and it just came to the point. I mean, Joe and Amy took over, and it's a whole new, it's a whole new version of the farm. It's actually really grown a lot, even since my time.
Yeah.
And it started in 1975, which I'm kicking myself. I should have been there then. I wish I would have been. My uncle lived right down the road. I don't know how that. I mean, that's all it would have took, because I was already painting stuff back then.
Yeah.
But it started out with Rosemary and Jerry as a small thing that just got bigger now, and now it's it's a Kenosha legend, but it's it's a commercial entity.
Yeah, I remember
It's
people were all
always
up in
been a
arms.
It
Yeah.
always was a commercial farm. I mean, people thought Rosemary and Jerry just did this as their, and they did. I mean, but then when it becomes something more, you have to roll in the long run. If you spent the money separately on all the things that you can get in the back area, you'd be paying more. So.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I got to ask you one more question about Crimson Theater. Kevin Irvin from Frank Steiner, one of our biggest fans, he used to be on your show, correct?
Yeah, Wolfgang von Screwball.
Yeah.
Was the character.
You got any funny stories about Kevin for us?
Just all good stories. I mean, he was a great. I think I met him at the Boathouse, and then I encouraged him to come on the show. I'm always encouraging people to come on the show, and. But he was from Chicago, so he knew all about all the old Chicago television, and he's a great guy. And he's Kevin is a great example of, a lot of people are upset about the illegal Illonesians that have migrated to Kenosha. But you know what? They've been really good for Kenosha, and Kevin's one of those guys.
Oh, for sure.
You know, Sherry Stauffer, my keyboard player, Ken Stauffer. I mean, they've come here, moved here from Illinois, and they've brought a lot of good things with them, and they love the community, and they try to make it better. And now he's got Frank Steiner, but he was a great character on the show. I mean, he's always funny. He's just born to be a horror host.
Well, I welcome anyone that wants to escape Illinois and come up here. You know, hey, come on up. You know, you know they've learned. They learned what's better. They come here. That's fine. Welcome with open arms.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, well, with that, let's take our second break, and we'll be back with some Kenosha Connects.
All right. Hey, are you bored with that tired old car of yours?
Ready to upgrade to something new and fresh?
Well, stop on by CarBox, located at 1750 22nd Avenue, and see what they have.
They might not have the hundreds of cars that the big lots do, but they have a wide selection of vehicles and offer the best customer service in the Kenosha area.
Featuring great cars for all family types, they have the deals you want and need.
Be sure to follow them on Facebook for their hilarious videos and posts. That's CarBox, located on Kenosha's north side at 1750 22nd Avenue. Beep, beep. All right, and we're back from that break.
And what a break it was.
Oh, it was. What time is it?
Oh, it's time for Kenosha Connects, where we get to know our guests and their connection to Kenosha.
Yeah, and that's brought to you by Lucci's Grandview.
Hey, Donny, do you know how Lucci's Grandview got their name?
Well, Jason, they are owned by the Lucci family.
No, I mean the Grandview part.
Oh, for sure. Lucci's Grandview is located at 6929 39th Avenue, and prior to 1926, 39th Avenue was known as Grandview Avenue.
Wow, how interesting.
Very.
And for a cold drink and some good conversation, stop by Lucci's Grandview. This family-owned and operated bar will serve up some great memories.
Follow them on Facebook to find out about their upcoming specials like bingo night, trivia, live entertainment, karaoke, and football Sunday.
That's Lucci's Grandview, located on the old Grandview Avenue, 6929 39th Avenue.
Say hi to Sarah and AJ Lucci for us.
All right, so we're getting to some Kenosha Connects questions with Dr. Destruction here.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is the last great meal you had in Kenosha?
I had a Sal's pizza with his roast beef on it.
Ooh.
Roast beef pizza, huh? Okay.
Wow.
Where in Kenosha would you recommend someone go on a first date? Haunted Manor at Jerry Smith's Pumpkin Bar?
What's that?
Haunted Manor at Jerry Smith's Pumpkin Bar?
Oh, how about Gerhard's?
Ah, yes.
It's a good
Great
place.
Right around the corner.
All right. Favorite Kenosha event? Is it Tribute Island? I know how
No,
much
it's
you
Punks
love.
on the Pier.
There you go. There you go. I like that.
Your favorite famous Kenoshan?
Orson Welles.
Oh, okay.
All right. Favorite local place to see a band?
Oh, probably the Port.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
58 Below's great for bigger events.
Yeah.
But the Port just has that intimate setting.
Yeah, that charm.
Yeah, I love seeing shows at the Port. It's hot, sweaty. You're right there. I love it.
Oh, I was the first band to play at the Port in 1986.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Halloween, 1986.
Awesome.
Wow.
What's your favorite park in Kenosha?
I guess Pets.
That's
Pet-
great.
That was always a magic place. It still is.
All right. Favorite museum in Kenosha?
Geez, it's all of them. I guess I'd have to say the Dinosaur Museum.
Hey,
They
there
let
you
me
go.
show a Godzilla movie in the basement once.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Cool. How about your favorite pizza place in Kenosha?
Ooh.
Sal's.
They really are one of the best in town.
Yeah.
When was the last time you rode the streetcar?
Oh, God. It's been a little bit. I got to do that again. I can't remember one of the 4th of July events, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
But we did a couple of Crimson Theater episodes,
Oh.
more than one on the streetcar.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Actually, there's a video on YouTube, a streetcar named Destruction.
Oh.
And it's
I'll have to look that up.
pretty old, so you see a lot of faces that are on there. That
Nice.
was a good time. We had the whole thing loaded up.
That's your
Some of the
YouTube
people-
channel is Dr. Destruction, where
Right.
Doctor spelled out
Yes.
DLCTOR. So-
Right. So there's bits and pieces of stuff on there.
Which now closed Kenosha business do you wish you could bring back?
Kelly's Pub. It was on, I want to say 46th and 7th Avenue on the northeast side. It burned down. It was right across the street from Sid City Zoo.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
a nice place. But Kelly's is somewhere where would go with the grandparents for fish fries and stuff. And in the back, they had like these separated little booths, and everything was dark and dark red paint. Then they had like what looked like a coat check area with like a door that had bars on it, like a cell. And there was this painting that someone, I think it was a homemade painting, or I have not been able to find the poster.
Yeah.
But it was an anti-drinking and driving poster. And it was a big Grim Reaper in red with a crashed car and a guy hanging out bleeding. It was inside this, it was the coat check room in that place. Some people said they remember that.
Wow.
But that place, it's the coolest. I got some pictures of family events there.
Is that was that a steakhouse too?
I don't know. A fish fry.
Okay.
I got a picture of I don't have my phone with me.
But that was the
building.
that's at the. Oh, you have a picture of it. Wow.
I have the picture of the building. It's not
cool.
there now.
Yeah, it's like a boat storage parking lot now. Yeah.
Yeah. What a loss.
Wow. Cool. Good answer.
All right. What is one thing you wish you could change about Kenosha?
Well, I'd like to see something like the Punk Picnic, or a big punk, like the Punk Picnic, actually be able to happen in Kenosha on the lakefront. I know that's probably got a bad reputation that it shouldn't, but I mean, you've got people that are involved with that scene that have very predominant businesses in this town.
Yeah.
So it's not, I don't think it's really what anybody thinks, but I just would like to see that happen for alternative music. It's not really alternative music. I don't even know what the Keno-Core, the punk scene is now, isn't really anything like what it was 40 years ago.
Right.
But it's still a big group of people that are, it's like friends. I mean, I know the police thought it was a gang. Gangs are organized.
Yeah. I remember all the shows down at Alfred Park down there. That was a great time down there.
Oh, back when they have it at Alfred's.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know who rented to them at, what was that, St. Teresa?
Right.
There.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would have happened. I might have been at that fracas, but I was working at the Renaissance Fair, so I was.
When I was in high school, I was at the one where it was up on the hill where there's a dormitory there now, but there was like a gazebo or something at Carthage, right over there in Alfred, and that. Well,
there was a lot of shows up there that didn't have nothing to do with the.
That was one of my first experiences of like the Keno-Core scene, though. It was pretty wild. All right, here's one. Who do you think should be our next mayor, and who do you think will be our next mayor?
I have no idea who's running.
Yeah, nobody yet.
Well,
but,
how about I'll go out on a limb and say our next mayor will be John Anaramian.
Okay.
All right. All right. In which Kenosha bar do you think you spent the most money at?
Patrick's probably.
Yeah. And the big Kenosha debate: Big Star or the Spot?
Big Star.
All right.
Oh, all right. Well, that was our Kenosha Connects, and that was brought to you by Lucci's Grandview.
And what time is it now, Donnie?
Ding, ding, ding. It's trivia time, and trivia is brought to you this week by Faded Barbershop for Men.
That's right, Donnie. Like death and taxes, another aspect of life we can't avoid is getting our hair cut.
And for your next haircut, call Boda and Trish at Faded Barbershop for Men. They're located in Uptown at 2227 63rd Street.
They offer so many different services, including shaves, waxing, color, and those good old-fashioned haircuts.
Drop them a message on Facebook to schedule a great time to come in to their charming old-school shop for your next cut.
And if you ask nicely, they might even turn on that pinball game and let you play a game.
Ding, ding, ding. That's Faded Barbershop for Men, 2227 63rd Street.
All right, it's time for our trivia game where Donnie takes on our guest.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's see what I got here.
Today we have some multiple choice questions for you, even though I don't know if Dale's going to need these multiple choices, but we have them anyway because we are doing a Universal Monster Trivia.
Ooh.
So it's simple enough. I got these from the good old internet, so any problems, take it up with the internet and not me.
Oh, the internet.
Donnie, we're going to start with you, so that way Dale kind of sees how it's going here.
Alrighty.
Donnie, who was the first well-known Universal monster to appear on screen? Was it A, Dracula, B, Frankenstein, C, the Mummy, or D, the Wolfman?
The Mummy.
That is incorrect. It is Dracula. All right, Dale, here we go. Number one for you. Lon Chaney and his son, Lon Chaney Jr., were two of Universal's biggest stars. Which roles were the two best known for? Was it A, the Creature and the Mummy, B, the Wolfman and the Creature, C, the Phantom of the Opera and the Wolfman, or D, The Mummy and Frankenstein?
The Phantom and the Wolfman.
You are correct. C is correct.
Dang it.
Dale is up 1-0.
Well, this is going to go.
Oh, I got it. You missed it. You didn't get the last one, so that.
I'm gonna blow it.
Now I figured
I'm gonna
out what's
blow
going
this. It's gonna be 5-0.
Come on, Don. You got this one.
All right.
Which movie, which didn't debut until the 50s, helped revitalize the Universal horror movie franchise? Was it Frankenstein, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Invisible Man, or The Thing?
Frankenstein.
No, that was like one of the first ones, you dummy. Dale, tell him the answer.
Huh?
Tell him the answer.
The Creature from the Black.
Yeah, it's Creature from the Black Lagoon. Number 2, Dale. What author had their work adapted 3 times by Universal in the 30s, including The Black Cat and Murder in the Rue Morgue?
Black Cat.
No, what author?
What author? What did Edgar Allan Poe?
Yes, of course. That's 2-0.
Well.
Donnie, what was the first Universal movie monster team-up?
Ooh.
Was it Frankenstein meets Dracula? Frankenstein meets the Wolfman? Dracula meets the Mummy? Or the Wolfman meets the Blob?
C.
Dracula meets the Mummy?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
You are wrong. It was Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Okay. You can't even guess these right.
I know, jeez.
All right,
I get one right.
if I'm going to get anything on Dale, this is going to be one I'm going to get him
Well,
on,
the Universal movies are definitely worth checking out.
for sure. This one I might get you on here. I don't know your documentaries. Who narrated Universal Horror, the 1998 documentary about the Universal monster movies? Was it Martin Sheen, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, or Kenneth Branagh?
Kenneth.
Yes, you are correct. All right, Donnie.
All right, I'm going to get one.
This one you got to get. What comedy team appeared in a number of Universal films, often meeting up with the Universal monsters? The Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, or the Marx Brothers? Come on.
Marx Brothers. A.
I even said their name earlier, a couple minutes ago. No, Abbott and Costello.
I knew it.
All right, here's a tricky one for you, Dale.
Oh.
According to the poem read in the film, the Wolfman can only transform during one season of the year. Which season?
When the autumn moon is full and bright.
Wow. Okay.
Autumn is correct.
Wow. Well.
All right, Donnie. Here's the last one. See if you can get one here.
Yeah, I just need one for a little credibility.
Donnie, what was the first Universal monster movie that came out in 3D? Was it Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Invisible Man, Tarantula, or The Mummy?
A.
You got one. Look at that.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
I remember Creature from the Black Lagoon was the first movie I saw in 3D on television.
Yeah.
They did a TV view.
I
And
think
we had to
Spenguli showed up. Well,
maybe it was. Yeah, I had to go to Open Pantry and get our glasses and
that
to
was
watch
him.
them. Yeah.
That was Rich Cause.
Yep, I remember that. That was great. All right, Dale, let's see if you can make 100%. Which of these titles was not a part of the Universal horror canon? A. Bride of Frankenstein. B. Dracula's Daughter. C. The Mummy's Bride. Or D. Son of Frankenstein.
The Mummy's Bride.
You got it.
Hey,
Dale
five
gets them
for
all.
five,
5-1. All right, and Dale has won our game of trivia here. And what has he won, Donnie?
Hey, Dale, you have won a free coffee from Common Grounds.
Oh.
You can go to Common Harborside.
Pumpkin spice?
Yeah, there you go. Common Grounds is located at 5159 6th Avenue, beautiful downtown Kenosha. So go enjoy that nice free coffee there, Dale.
They're only open for breakfast and lunch right now.
Yep, they're open 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. So get on down there early, I guess.
All right. Well, it's that time of year to pop in some old Universal monster movies.
There you go.
Just
Yeah.
enjoy yourself. And it's also that time of the year to go see Dr. Destruction, the Haunted Manor at Jerry Smith's Pumpkin Farm. Get out there. He'll be there Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Also, check out his radio show on AM 1050 WLIP, Area 1051. Airs Saturdays at noon. You can catch it on WLIP.com as well.
Yes.
And we don't want to forget about Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. You can catch that on Spectrum Channel 14, on the KenoshaCommunityMedia.org, Kenosha Community Media Roku app. Go download
Roku.
Roku. Yeah, why did I totally butchered that there? But go check it out. There's many airing times: Saturday 9 a.m., Tuesday 3 p.m., Friday at midnights. And then also, if you're in the Chicagoland area, on VPod TV 59.3, Saturday 10 p.m. Did I miss anything? You got so much going on. Is there anything else that I missed to plug here?
No, not yet. Something will come along.
Right.
I'm not
There's
thinking
always
about
something coming up here. Well, Dale, thank you so much. Dr.
No,
Destruction,
great
thank
to be
you.
here. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was very fun.
And we got to take one more minute to thank all of our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
So thank you to Captain Mike's,
Equinox,
Downtown'r Saloon,
Bluehorn Digital,
Union Park Tavern,
CarBox,
Lucci's Grandview,
Faded Barbershop for Men,
The Lettering Machine,
Common Grounds.
and we can't forget to order those pizza pies at Luigi's Pizza Kitchen.
Well, Jason, that was another fun-filled episode of the Ktown Connects podcast. We're really connecting everybody in Kenosha.
Aren't we supposed to say?
I was trying to ruin the old catchphrase.
Ah, okay.
So, but
what are we doing here, Donny?
I think
you just said that we were.
Yeah, but I already forgot. We are connecting Kenosha.
All right, thank you.
I'm from Kenosha, I say Kenosha, that great big busy town. Right in the middle of the USA, between the New York Harbor and the San Francisco Bay. I'm from Kenosha, I say Kenosha, that great big busy town. Right in the middle of the USA, between the New York Harbor and the San Francisco Bay. Well, the wonderful East, the beautiful West, that's the right place to be from. Sing it so loud of it because we're so proud of it, Kenosha, my hometown. Give me a beer. No!
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep that off the podcast.